Okay then, hello everybody, welcome back to Team Prawn Racing. Now, you're going to have to bear with me because I am slightly under the weather today. It is Thursday afternoon, we have 6 weeks to go until we are going racing. As per the last couple of weeks, we're going to nip out to the garage and give you a little update as to where we are with the car and how we're looking in terms of being ready for round 1 6 weeks from now. However, before that, I've got a little announcement to make, and I'm quite excited about this one. If I step forward, I think that probably gives you a clue. So yeah, I am extremely pleased to announce that for 2023, Team Prawn Racing have teamed up with Helix Autosport as a sponsor and providing us with this awesome twin plate race clutch for the car. Right, so unless you've been living under a rock for God knows how many years, lots, you'll have heard of Helix. Helix make performance clutch kits for just about everything, from mild, fast road, classics, historics, all the way through to all-out race stuff like ours, all the way to drag stuff, triple plates, that'll take 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. Absolutely everything. But what we have here is a 184, so you might call that a 7.25 if you're in America, a 7.25 inch 184mm twin plate clutch on an ultralight flywheel. Now, before I tell you too much more about this incredible looking clutch kit, massive thanks has to go to Alex at AKS Tuning. So Alex is someone I've known for a long time, 10, 12 years plus. Generally just keep an eye on what he's doing, what AKS are up to. They do some really good stuff these days. Alex actually put me in touch with Helix. I just put a post up asking new clutch needed around the 600 brake mark, what should I go for? And it was actually Alex that set up the Helix contact and showed them what we were all about and got them interested in coming to work with us. So thanks mate, big thanks, AKS Tuning. So what we've got here is a lightweight billet flywheel, so you can see that is all machined from one piece. It's not very thick here to here. So it's not kind of skeletal like you see some with the big cutouts between each one, but we didn't actually want to go stupidly light because going ridiculously light can actually kind of affect drivability and make the car a complete nightmare. You've then got this beautiful aluminium turned clutch pressure plate. You can see that again is a billet piece here with a spring in the middle. And the way these work, this bolts onto the flywheel, obviously, 6 bolts, and these lugs, which if you look have got a little metal wear plate on, they pick up on the pressure plate drive lugs which are here. So this one with the machined ring drops, trying to do this one-handed, this one drops in here, and then on top of that you've got one clutch plate, so this one is flywheel side, so that goes that way up. So that's effectively now working like a single clutch. You've got a spring with a pressure plate, drive plate, pushes against the flywheel. But then where a twin plate differs, you have another pressure plate. Again, one-handed might be tricky because this stuff is all machined to very tight tolerances. And this one, I've put these in the wrong way around, as you can see. Muppet, gearbox side. Tell you what, press pause, drop me a comment. Who's put a clutch plate in wrong before? Wrong way around. How far did you get before you worked it out? I've got a whole lot in before I sent someone a picture of what I've been doing that evening and they went, oh, I hope you turn that round. And I looked, oh. Gearbox back out, everything. Muppet. Anyway, get back to this. So then on top of the second pressure plate, you drop your second clutch plate. Now note, these have marks to align plates. So those are stacked on top of each other, not offset, as some have possibly thought. And then that whole lot flips upside down onto the flywheel. Now the difference here, you've got twice as much grip. You've effectively got 2 4-paddle clutches, which is why this can be smaller, only 184mm versus 240 on a standard clutch. But despite being smaller, it's actually rated higher. So this tiny lightweight basket clutch is rated to 580 Newton meters. Very unlikely we're ever going to see much over 500. So this is certainly going to do the job. Now, as well as being rated to a ridiculous torque figure, this is actually really light compared to the old setup. So this flywheel is just 4.4 kilos, which obviously you can go lighter, but you get into the realms of affecting drivability. I think things like the Fidanza alloy flywheels are somewhere around that. But there you go, 4.4 kilo flywheel. And what you mustn't forget is the actual clutch unit. This is much lighter, very little weight to that. That is much lighter than a standard conventional steel cover with a bigger 240mm drive plate. As well as a clutch and flywheel, we've also got an FTE slave cylinder supplied by Helix. And I'm really looking forward to getting this in the car. Finally, after all these years of kind of pushing our luck, we actually had a Helix clutch before. We've run a 4-paddle Helix clutch under a standard cover for years and never had any failures. Always just sent it back whenever the box is out, had it repadded. Seriously good value getting your clutch plate repadded from the people who made it. Back in the car, and it's been great. But we're trying to level it up for this year, 2023. We're stepping it up. We've finally got a clutch to suit the output of the car. Anyway, I'm gonna head out to the garage, show you where I've got to with the rest of it. Helix Autosport, welcome to Team Prawn Racing. Hopefully a few more of these in the next 12 months. As well as working with Helix and receiving the clutch kit this week, I have also been working on the shifter. Now, a lot of you are really surprised I've gone away from my VW Motorsport shifter back to a standard one. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying this is going to be incredible, but I've got to try it. I drove Nigel's car about a year ago at Snetterton with a standard one in, rebuilt. And I've got to be honest, it felt better than my Motorsport shifter. So this has been fully stripped. I've cut the bottom of it off, as you can see. It's normally ribbed all down the side. That's all gone. It has been fully rebuilt with new bushes. I've got a brand new return spring. That's going to go on it in a minute. Painted it. And also, somebody had cut down the gear knob here. I'll pop a picture up here. So someone had cut it down. It was just too short. So I've cut it down further. It was about here. I've cut it right down to here, put an M12 thread on it, and then screwed on my alloy shifter with this stainless extension I have made by a chap called Stephen years ago. So that's now on. It now works all completely normal. So you've got full up and down reverse lockout. The lever length is only about 10mm longer than standard. If I need to, I can always turn this or cut this down ever so slightly to get it back down again. New bushes, gonna have a new spring in, and I can't do it on the table because it actually scratches. But this feels really good. Nice short throw, nice and sharp. And the biggest thing, let me try and spin the camera and show you. The biggest thing of all that you just didn't get with a VW Motorsport is a self-centering. Now, that's not really showing you too clearly because I can't hold it firm, but this now springs back both directions really nicely. And look, the throw is not even that long. Bearing in mind that's full extremity of the lever, we're probably going to be first, second, third, and it always springs back to the middle, which is great. So with that rebuilt, I needed a way to mount it. Obviously want to lift it up in the car, don't just want it sat down. Now a lot of people just do a strap up and over, but I didn't like the look of that. Now I've come up with something, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't look that beautiful. We all know my fab skills are not up there with Ilya's or Andy's or anyone like that. But it's going to be hidden, it's going to be closed off with an alley plate, and it'll do the job. So inside the shifter you've got these two holes. Most people use it from above to put a strap on. I have made this ugly thing. So that bolts in there and raises it up that way. And then down here, it'd be nice to just, these studs, spin them over, but you can't go down because a cable runs right through the middle of it. So I've made a C-channel with holes in it so the cables can still run. And then on top of that, we bolt that. Now, I know this looks heavy, but the two of these together, it's only thin wall box. The two of these together are less than 800 grams. So it's really not that bad. Right, so back out here to the car. I'm not gonna lie, we are in the most almighty mess out here at the moment, but we're making progress. The pedal box is in. So this is now in, done. All these lines are finished. They clear the bias bar here, which is important because when the bar comes out from here, the adjuster's got to clear all of these. Everything is in. You've got your reservoirs front and rear. We've got the clutch line here. That is now all done. Use the original hard pipe up here into an AN4. And if we come up here, we've got the clutch reservoir there. You can get to that quite easily. Does mean scuttle off, but how often do you touch a clutch reservoir? So that's the pedal box done. Power steering lines are now done. We've got an AN6 PTFE line up to a bulkhead plate. The return then comes off here, goes around the back of the pedal box and through a bulkhead fitting here, back inside. And then coming inside the car, the bulkhead fitting comes out here, the pipe comes across the back, loops around and down onto here. I've just got a couple of fittings to put on, and that is the power steering line done. So there you go. Looks a bit of a mess, but it's actually really not a million miles away now. The brake system is done. The gear shifter is essentially mounted. By the time you guys see this tomorrow night, it will be mounted and done. The power steering setup is done. It just needs wiring up. That isn't a job for me because this is a CAN bus controlled unit, so it's going to go onto the CAN bus with a steering angle sensor. Alex at Badger 5 is going to wire that up. Apart from a few little odds and sods to tidy up, we are essentially ready for a bottom end. We've had a little bit of bad news on the bottom end. Absolutely nothing to do with Badger 5, but the machinist where it is all done has had a bit of an issue, so currently not sure when that's coming. But we got 6 weeks, it's going to be fine. Who knows, shakedown might be race 1. I hope that's a decent little update for you. 6 weeks ago, we're going racing. 2023, we are teaming up with Helix Autosport alongside several of our existing awesome sponsors. I hope you guys will like this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have fun, take care. See you next week.